What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time dropping in, Tommy Kentner here. Today we actually got a guest, Adam from Wide Body Nation, and we're going to talk about some Dodge stuff.
Yeah, there's a whole lot to talk about. Anything from, we were just talking about them getting rid of the Hemi in the cars, that is, so that's a good clarification to make that we can later in the conversation. But then also, obviously, car theft in general has gone way up, and then, car theft for these specifically, obviously Hellcats, Scat Packs, really any Mopar are equally easy to steal. People are getting really creative on how to kind of protect your car in various ways, because there's very, very many ways to protect your car. So we can probably talk at length about that, and just kind of the way Dodges are going and stuff like that. So.
Right. And then we got Roberto from Form Driven Media.
I figured for this podcast, I'll pretty much just let him talk because he's the Dodge expert. We were just talking about a little bit behind the scenes, and even just the fact of how he knows this chassis inside out. Apparently the V8 is staying on certain chassis, just not sedans, basically, or coupes.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll just let you do your thing, dude.
Yeah. So I guess I'll explain that first, because Tommy, maybe you didn't know this yet,
I
but
didn't even know that.
the Durango is keeping the V8.
Okay.
So Hellcat Durangos are back, which pissed a lot of people off, because that was supposed to be a one-time run. A lot of people.
I feel like this is a Dodge thing.
Oh yeah.
It's like, let's put out this Demon that's going to be a one-time thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, now it's standard.
Well, yeah, and now that's the same as the Demon, because that has 807 on 93. And when California finally stops being ridiculous, the level 2 tune on this will have more horsepower than a Demon.
Oh, really?
Because, so
interesting.
So Dodge rolled out direct connection. I want to say there was mutters about it for a while, for multiple years, but then last SEMA they went nuts and were like, hey, level 1, level 2 kits from the dealer, kind of like how Ford does Roush,
right?
And some other
that kind of makes sense.
Other I don't know if they do like Pro Charger, but Roush,
right?
Skyline and all that. So if the direct conection catalog for 2022 has the pre-stage kit, which is a Diablo tuner basically.
Oh, cool.
The level 1 kit is the tune that's an E85 tune.
Nice. So
and then the level 2 kit is E85 and the Elephant pulley. So you pulley down.
Okay.
And it's all under warranty.
Right.
Wow.
And
how much power can you get out of a setup like that?
I
it should be.
I can't remember what it says on there. It's in I want to say it's high 800s crank.
Right.
So that dyno
really close to like 1,000.
You dyno.
Yeah, on a dyno jet that was at 675 or 680.
Okay.
Which makes sense to me for drivetrain loss. Heavy car.
Subarus lose about 75 wheel
On a stock.
Yeah.
So but they're all-wheel drive.
Yeah. So your percentage is going to be a little higher on that.
Yeah, I calculated it was about 15% loss, which
that's
10. I hear anywhere from 10 to 15% drivetrain loss. Depends. Like the C8, I would bet the C8 loses less with drivetrain loss, just because it's a motor and then it's a transax and then out.
And the GTRs do good too, because
they do.
My 17 put 509 down stock, and it makes 560.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
And
that's an all-wheel drive car too.
Well, it was in rear-wheel drive. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But so there's the whole direct connection side of the house, which technically was supposed to be available in like March of 22. But I talked to Franklin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, I think is the local power. I think they call power brokers, and they're just a big wait list. Basically, they're going to call everybody once it's available. Weld sells their S71 beadlocks that are like a special direct connection, which you can actually get those. It's just a long wait time.
Yeah.
Because it's just wheels with.
Right.
It's S71s, like they're the normal,
they have Dodge logos on them.
It says direct connection.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
And they're blacked out too, so instead of it being a chrome and black, it's just blacked out the whole thing. And they look sick.
Yeah.
And they're a little more expensive, but I feel like they probably resell like TEs do. I would assume, because back when I had the first round of this,
Right.
I had those extra wheels that Battleborn did, and they
Yeah.
made them gold.
Mhm.
I sold them for like it's basically stock, like new wheel price.
Yeah.
And because Dodge does well with their wheels.
Right. Well, I mean, I feel like they do a lot. They do good with it, like a lot of their parts.
Yeah, forged wheels. Most of their parts are good.
And then, like, because I know on their Demon wheels, like they have the little logo and everything.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
And a lot of people like those.
Yeah, I had bought those. Oh no, those
Yeah,
Demon wheels
yeah.
too. I bought when I was down in Georgia, and I
Right.
turned those around. Same thing. Sold them for what I paid for.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
with brand new Mickeys on them. So.
Yeah, because
Nice.
I think, because we made a video of you picking up your other one at Dodge.
Yep, right down the road.
Yep, right down the road.
Yeah, it was like 10 degrees out though. We
yeah.
couldn't really do anything with it.
Yeah, but well, it didn't last too
No, it
long.
No. Do you want me to
Yeah,
tell them
yeah,
about-
go ahead. I
So-
mean, that's your experience.
Yeah.
So.
So, my social media experience, like I came up with Subarus, and I got into a bunch of different types of cars, but Dodges have always came back to me, and even if I was pushing them away at arm's length, they've always come back to me. I did Turo for a little bit. That car, I had a 2018 Daytona Destroyer Gray, best color, and I rented the crap out of that car. It was awesome. As far as like business wise, except for the fact that the Carfax on it was horrible because at some point, as long as you get it repaired by a dealership, they keep reporting the Carfax, even if they're just repairing a curved rim, a tire, fender bender, little stuff, not frame damage, not anything crazy, but that car had 15 grand worth of repairs, so it came up as like moderate damage.
Oh.
And even though it literally had only been in
And a lot of
tiny little incidents,
Right.
and a lot of it was like people renting it and doing like burnouts and
Yeah,
tire
people will bring the
replacement.
car with the cord. The one that got it though, which made the Carfax bad, was that a guy got rear-ended when he was up on a speed bump.
Oh.
So it crimped the exhaust when the car hit him.
Oh.
It bent like the mid pipe,
And they had to
so
replace
it had
it
to
all.
replace the whole exhaust, which was like
Damn.
$3 grand for a stock exhaust.
Jeez.
Obviously, insurance paid for it, but still. But the dealership right down the road that I got the repairs done at, because with Turo I wanted to keep everything kind of like
And keep-
at the dealer, right?
Keep warranty too.
Yeah, warranty and all that, because it was a certified pre-owned.
Right.
They were eyeing the car, and Dodge got rid of Destroyer Gray. It was the beginning of the pandemic where the inventories were going down.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically told me, hey man, you can if you buy a car from us, we'll give you an absurd amount of money for that car.
Right.
It was worth low 20s, and they wanted to give me low 30s for it, which
Right.
was
Yeah.
crazy. So I actually been making, or no, they told me that. So I went home, turned the screen record on, started making videos about what Hellcat to order, but I did a little commentary on like how
Yeah.
people can save money on them by not ordering like every single option. That saves you 10, 15 grand right there.
Right.
sure.
And then I explained power dollars, explained 0% for 72 months, and how trade-ins go towards your tax bill and all
Yep.
that stuff. So, long story short, that Dodge content hit way
yeah.
harder than everything else I was doing, and had to wait like 5 months, which was also a lot of content because I did
Yeah.
update videos on the order, and after all that, after that long story, car shows up, me and Tommy go get it.
Right.
Me and my buddy drive it all the way to a YouTuber event in Dallas. We were there for less than 48 hours, and the car got stolen right outside of my like 4-star hotel in downtown Dallas, which now we know is like car thief
Yeah.
city.
Capital.
Yeah, and the funny thing was we had just put the Hellcat badges back on it that night too
Oh.
from the wrap, because I got it back from the wrap. We drove it straight out there. It was debadged, and then right before we were going to take it to the race the next day, we had slapped the Hellcat badges back on there. And
Do you think that would have helped if you left them on?
I think they would have stole it regardless, because they probably just would have got a nice surprise.
Yeah.
But you can tell by the hoods on them, like the
Oh,
Redeye hoods have the heat extractors, not just the intake right here.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times scat packs, they'll have the little snorkels right here, because that's
Oh.
kind of like a trendy thing.
Yeah.
But-
yeah, because the other one was a wide body too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it had the same hood as this though, because
Oh.
it was a Redeye.
Oh, okay.
The Redeyes and the jailbreaks are basically the same thing.
Oh, okay.
The jailbreak was a little bit of it was kind of a marketing stunt by
Right.
Dodge just to up the price, and it took a lot of stuff away from a normal Redeye.
Oh.
Because you used to be able to customize Redeye. Like my Redeye
Yeah.
that I got was like 82.5 out the door MSRP.
Right.
Now, granted, I didn't do a sunroof, I didn't do upgraded sound system, I didn't do anything really other than red interior, and that was it.
I mean, that's all you need.
No, it's all, with a white car, red interior.
Yeah. Super clean.
But the same car the next year, because to get the red interior, you have to do like the jailbreak or whatever, was darn near 90.
Wow.
Jesus.
Just with they tweaked the MSRP way up, and they also like the jailbreak was a fee too because it was like a trim level up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I see why they did it. A lot of car companies are like that, where they
Yeah.
just kind of do what's popular.
Well,
If they can get an extra 5-10 grand out of you.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Why
well they're
wouldn't
getting the 5-10 grand out of you for the bump up, but then also they stopped doing power dollars. They started marking the car because with the
your power dollar.
yeah.
videos.
So with the Redeye, I did the sticker was 82.5, and then I had the big trade in, big as in like that car was not worth a lot, but they gave me a ton of money for it.
Right.
And then also they were still doing $6 grand off power dollars. So that's from Dodge too. That's no skin off the dealer's back.
Right.
That was a Dodge incentive.
Yeah.
So dealer got a MSRP sale.
Right.
The only thing they did kind of silly was they just gave me a ton of money for that car, which I'm sure they turned around and sold for
Probably 40.
yeah, probably darn near that.
And they dropped the ball with like putting the track.
Yeah, so
and stuff in it
the
too.
tracker. Yeah, so I guess we could talk about theft prevention now because
Yeah.
that long story short on the whole car theft thing is that car got stolen in Dallas, and it's kind of like murders too. Like the first 48 or whatever. If the car's not back in the first 48, like it's
like,
see ya. So
sorry, no.
yeah, so my bad. So we didn't find the car.
Yeah.
But we didn't go to extraordinary measures to find it. I activated Uconnect, but the way I found my Daytona was Mopar EVTS, which is Dodge's electronic vehicle tracking system, but it's an add-on. It's like their low jack or whatever.
Right.
So it was super useful. When my Daytona was stolen, the reason it took so long to get it back, it took 2 hours to get it back, and one of those hours I was literally just driving from Clarksville to Nashville.
Wow.
So, and I just went to the cops. We had a snail trail tracker up on my phone. Police sergeant was like, all right, guys, he's on 2nd Street in Nashville. He's on 3rd Street. Like, just boom. They got spooked because we found him that quick, and then they just, ran off. A couple $100 worth of damage, but
Right.
So this dealership, now they gave me a great deal on the car, but they told me that they couldn't transfer the tracker, which is this is a Dodge brand tracker, so like they should know what they were doing.
Right.
And so I had to call up Mopar EVTS, which is really Guide Point Systems, this whole deal, and they're telling me no, that's BS.
Right.
So I did all this before the car was stolen. I did this the day after I got the car. But they had to send me another system out because now the car's traded and I'm back in Georgia. So they said, hey, we'll deal with them by ourselves. They sent me a free hardware system to Georgia, and they just said, hey, you're just going to have to get this installed at your leisure after it shows up. But they did normal shipping.
Right.
So I don't get the system until the week, like the business week of us leaving for Dallas. So I said, okay, I'll just install it when the trip's done.
Right.
So the tracker's sitting at home. We drive to Dallas, car gets stolen. So then I come back, and I just have the tracker at that point.
Yeah, on his porch that showed up.
So, Mopar EVTS is actually legit.
Yeah.
Like I have literally recovered one of my cars because of it.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
But I have it on this car too, actually, and it's actually not that hard to. I installed it myself, and I don't do that stuff, and I installed it myself.
Right.
So, they were lying. Even if it was hardwire installed, which you can do, the dealership
should have pulled it off.
or at very least they should have pulled it off and been like, hey, here you go. Like like just classic like poor customer service. So,
which I feel like Dodge kind of strives.
Yeah.
Everything I've heard and seen on YouTube, it's like their marketing is really good. Customer service is just
their marketing, and then they're just like they're like we don't give an F attitude makes them have cool cars, but it also makes their customer service terrible. It's because it's like there's a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, and it's like they took that book and just read the cover and were like, oh, okay, you know, and they didn't actually read the book because that's not like what the book's about. But,
Right.
So yeah, so the theft was kind of a blessing in disguise. First of all, you know, kind of made me aware that the Dodge theft thing was very, very big problem.
Right.
Not just a one-time thing in Nashville in between Turo rentals.
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough to get it on footage where we saw that they broke in the back window, disconnected the battery to make the alarm not go off, and the Uconnect has trouble transponding if the battery's unplugged.
Oh.
Uconnect is trash, by the way. If you're just relying on Uconnect to get your car back, you're not getting your car back. I guarantee you. I got videos on it. Uconnect is garbage. OnStar, a lot of these other car companies, they've got it good.
Yeah.
Uconnect is garbage. Oh, by the way, when they stole the car, it was this car and then my brand new C8 Corvette was parked next to it. You would have thought that was a Toyota Camry because they didn't care about the C8. Both cars were right there.
Yeah.
5 in the morning.
Yeah, because I've actually
They didn't care at all.
seen a guy that bought some kind of like just transponder thing that like copies the signal that their keys put out.
Yeah, it's like a repeater.
And so he like left his key in the house, got this thing that like copied the signal, and broke into his own car like without a key.
That might have been TK's garage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we know him.
But is that just a Dodge specific thing that is that easy to steal their cars, or what's the deal?
So this will answer like multiple questions at once. So this will answer your question and like 3 other follow-ups that people and you probably have. These cars, they're muscle cars, and it's a Daimler Chrysler platform. The chassis itself is like a 05 Daimler Chrysler chassis, which is like multiple iterations of Dodge, like pre-housing crisis before Dodge got sold to Fiat, and then pre-Stellantis too, because now that's actually Dodge's parent company.
Okay.
So they put this car is all motor, all drivetrain. Everything else is old, you know.
Right.
So mechanically they're easy to steal, electronically they're easy to steal, and then the electronics for recovering them suck too. Mechanically, you've probably seen some of my videos, but you can put them in neutral, super easy.
Yeah.
And people discount the whole neutral thing. It's like, well, yeah, that's for towing, but it's like none of the cars in here have the theft, the theft
easiness,
attention that these cars do, because everyone that you can flip these cars, or what like any of the other cars that we have, whether it's my truck, whether it's a Supra, whether it's any of the Nissans or the Subarus, no one's going to take these cars to a takeover and then throw them away after, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
A lot of people want to steal these cars just to bring them to a takeover.
Oh, that
and
does
then,
make sense.
You know, like if they know there's a takeover coming up on Friday night, New Year's, you know,
Go
like
ahead,
I'll just
trash it.
Well,
yeah,
and probably part it out afterwards.
Yeah, or abandon it. I mean,
really?
you could just be the dude you'd be the dude at the takeover and then get rid of it, and you wear a ski mask or whatever, and then you'd be the coolest dude there for like a day, and then you just dump it on a street and then they recover it.
And it's kind of like your whole experience with you getting updates. Why the car's stolen?
Yeah, the monthly car updates, Dodge would send me vehicle health updates, you know.
And it actually got serviced while it was stolen, too.
It got serviced a couple times. I mean, I think that was just... so it got serviced as in, like, they like, redid the tire pressure and they reset the oil.
Right.
But not at a dealership, presumably.
Yeah,
presumably. But it would tell you what the closest dealership was, but it wouldn't tell you the location of the car.
Yeah. Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and they finally got.
What
it back
about
too.
like some sort installing some sort of like low jack or even like the Apple AirTags? Or is there like multiple solutions to this, or like if you get one of these, are you just basically screwed?
Keep it in the garage.
So the first thing to do is to have car insurance off the rip, because I benefited from that, right? So mine got stolen. It turned out that the car was worth so much money, and I bought it so well that it wasn't like, oh crap, I'm going to be in a negative equity situation.
So you kind of kept on top a little bit on that.
Yeah, so I was on top a little bit. So it made it less of a significant emotional event when the insurance company ends up cutting you a small check instead of you being like, you know, pockets cough it up, you know?
Yeah.
So car insurance, number one. A lot of people want to talk about, you know, squirt guns, stuff like that with these cars. I stay away from that because I'm not going to tell you how to defend yourself or defend your car, because most people don't do it the right way unless they're actually trained.
Right.
And I'm not a trainer on self-defense or on, you know, auto defense or whatever. And if you are telling someone about it on camera, then you're doing it wrong, because there's so many videos of people saying this is where I keep this is where I keep that, as far as like actual firearms goes, and that's like the number one rule is like you're not supposed to tell people that you're carrying, right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of concealed carry, is that no one knows that you have it. But that's enough on that. Then there's varying levels as far as like money and security, right? So like this car has Mopar EVTS, it has car lock, which is like I would say like a cheaper solution, because Mopar EVTS is not cheap, I should say. You know, a couple $100 a year. A lot of times the hardware costs a couple $100 too, so it's not cheap. Car lock is just an OBD2 plug-in.
Okay.
But you know, main criticism would be people saying like, well, what if you unplug it, right? So it's got a hub battery in it that lasts a couple minutes, but obviously someone can just take it and throw it out the window. But car lock does, like my phone, if you went and unplugged it in here, my phone would freak out. So it would at least give you a immediate alert as soon as your car gets messed with. It's got a shock sensor and stuff too, which most of these cars don't. This one does. They finally updated the cars a little bit.
Even the Subaru's going with those. And
Yeah, I mean, every other car has better alarm system.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe even like a '90s car probably does. But so you know, we recommend that you have kind of multiple things, everything from car insurance to a hardwired tracker to a OBD device, and then also an AirTag or two. And my car lock and my AirTag are actually like the bait, in my opinion, for thieves. I want a thief to get in the car and be like, oh, there's an AirTag in here, start looking for that. Start looking for a car lock, because that's going to let me know what's up.
Right.
The car lock's going to let me know my car is getting stolen. The AirTag is going to keep them preoccupied from the actual theft deterrent stuff that I have.
Right.
Everything from wheel locks to where I park the car to cameras to our, you know, Destroyer 1320 theft deterrent system, which is the plate with the tamper-proof screws. We use like 18 gauge steel. So again, all of these are not foolproof. There's no foolproof way of just one.
Yeah, because I mean, really until that happened to you, I mean, I've never even thought about getting the car stolen. Like,
no, I mean,
it was just not in my radar at all.
It's not something that most people think about. But the popularity of these cars, especially like you said, for takeovers and that sort of thing,
I didn't even
has
think
just
about
gone
that.
up insanely.
no, it's all of it. It's
because they can go out there even for like an hour and be like the star of the show.
Yeah.
And if it's not their car, who cares? Like they'll just
I mean, some people's social
rev it
media
to the
accounts
moon.
are based off of takeovers or based off of just like running from the cops or racing people. So like you could go beat a bunch of people in a race or, you know, run from the cops one time, and it's not your license plate if you stole it too. So who cares? You know.
Yeah. And then you could just dump it.
Exactly. And then I mean,
I've seen it on Facebook Market where like I was like, oh wow, that's a Hellcat supercharger. Oh wow, that's this, that, and like okay, this car can park out. Part out. Like there's no way around it.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if we ever do something wild, we throw a Whipple on there. Like I'll sell the supercharger, but you know, most Dodge parts I see online, I'd say it's like a 50-50 whether or not that's stolen. But
Jesus.
I never thought it was a problem too. Like I said, the Turo thing, I thought was like a fluke. You know. Because it was in between rentals. It was downtown Nashville at one of my drop locations. It had just come off another rental, and I had it staged for the next rental within 24 hours. And then I woke up the day of the rental, and my phone was going off with the Mopar EVTS saying, "Hey, someone's driving it," and I was like, "Oh, like
this ain't good.
It's not a rental, so it's not supposed to be happening."
That is It's like I said, it was nuts because I've never known anybody getting their car stolen.
No, and it happened multiple times.
And really, when it was like, because I mean, it didn't have you might have even had it like a week or two, and that happened.
Yeah, it was less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Now remember the build up. Like you got this car.
Yeah.
You were
yeah,
talking
the
about
build
it
up
so
was
much,
insane.
Yeah.
and it got stolen that quick. That was such a wild feeling. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I would do. But like you said, at least you kind of came up on top a little bit, so it makes things a little better.
bit better. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, you know, I never thought we'd actually turn the theft prevention stuff into a business or just a main focus
yeah.
of like a YouTube channel,
Well,
at least for now.
And I think that's great too, because at least you're protecting other people.
Yeah.
Like, or well, not more protection than they already had.
Yeah, I mean, if I could snap my fingers and just make every Mopar have our product on it, not for the money, but it would make thieves get caught at a statistically higher rate, because
it takes longer.
Yeah, most of them break the back window, unplug your battery, immediately go pull your coin slot up, and when they run into that first hurdle of why is there a black steel 18 gauge plate right here,
Right.
they're like, you know what, I'm out.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple customers that send us testimonials that they'll show various levels of break-ins where
Right.
thieves either broke in and then just said, nah, I'm good. Like as soon,
Yeah.
like there's some of them where cars ruffled through, the coin slot's up, but then you can just tell they didn't even touch it because they're like, oh, okay, and then they leave.
Well,
maybe
good.
they stole a wallet or something, but
Hey, at least they didn't steal the car.
yeah. And then there's other ones where the product is actually held up to like a pry bar or a screwdriver where they're trying to pry it.
Oh,
Because we send tamper-proof screws to our customers, and you can we're happy to tell you what the thread pitch and the length of the screw is too if you want. Just DM me on Instagram, and you can go to Home Depot and they have 5 different options there too, where you can get your own version that's not the one we send you. And
Right.
that's fine too. But I guess to be devil's advocate, which a lot of people are in the comments, is, oh, well, it's just 2 screws in the steel plate. And it's like, yes, that's the point. Like we're not selling a $1,000 alarm.
Right.
We're covering up the most vulnerable part of the car, so that then all of your other theft solutions can actually do their job. And our product is, in the $30 range, which is a pretty easy way to band-aid your car. This car is worth over $100.
Yeah.
Scat packs now are going. Sticker on a scat pack $60.
That's crazy.
60.
Dang.
To get beat by a bolt-on Subaru.
Yeah. So, that's the cars are expensive, and we never recommend our product as the only thing you have. Obviously,
Right.
it starts with car insurance. It starts with putting your car in a decent spot. But a lot of people talk about, my car will never get stolen because I was parked in my garage, or
Right.
gated community this, or you name it. But so, are you saying you're never going to drive your car?
Yeah.
And on the flip side of AirTags, and I did a video on this too, as easy as you can use an AirTag yourself, I can use it to steal your car.
Yeah.
Because then I just find out where you park it. I put it on your car, and now you can tweak the settings of AirTags to where if you're good, you won't know that I put an AirTag on your car.
Are you serious?
Especially if I know you have an Android. If I know you have an Android, if I watch you, everyone's walking around their phones, right? So if I see you have an Android, I'm putting an AirTag on that car real quick. And then boom, I know where you park it at your apartment complex or your house or whatever, or at the dealership. Dealerships are another side of the house. People's demons are getting stolen while they're there for service at dealerships.
Oh, wow. That's so bad.
That is.
You drive down to, unless you're in like Atlanta, Detroit, not most car dealerships don't park all their cars in and don't have gates, right?
Right.
When I drive by non-Dodge dealerships especially Dodge dealerships, and their cars are not parked in such a way where it's impossible to move them or get through, it's like,
It's open.
what are you guys doing? I know the car dealership I bought this from, their key box got stolen.
Oh my god.
They broke in, stole
with all the keys?
Yes.
In it? Holy
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a big ticket right there.
Yeah, because just the keys alone are probably
it's like a couple $100 a key right there.
Probably got 100 keys in it.
Yeah, and then you have to do and it's probably used cars too, so it's like, you got to program 2 Subarus and 1 Toyota, and that'd be a pain in my butt.
Oh, yeah, you ain't kidding.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, we're looking to, looking to mod that car with the direct connection stuff, and keep doing theft prevention, do the direct connection. If direct connection fails, then Tommy and his guys are going to be jumping into it with
Other parts.
much more aggressive mods that are going to add much more than 83 crank horsepower. So, but yeah, I mean, I appreciate y'all for sticking with it, and stay safe out there as far as protecting your car, whether you have a Dodge or whether you have Subarus, Supras, Nissans, everything you got in here, But I appreciate you guys for having me on, and looking forward to
Thanks for the Dodge knowledge.
Oh yeah, because I didn't know it was that bad.
No, I've heard it was bad. I didn't
Yeah,
realize it was
I've
this
heard it's
bad.
bad.
Yeah, when you
Just
hear
kinda
the
really questioning
when you hear the
whether I should
details,
get a Dodge
you
at
get
some
like,
point or not.
no, I got a lot of people that DM me and they're like, should I even get a Dodge? I'm
Right.
Like, depends on where you're at. you know?
Yeah.
But guys, drop a like on this video if you liked it. Drop some comments below with your concerns, and I'll have to ask
we'll jump
Adam.
down there and answer them.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, drop them below, or what you'd like to see the next podcast, and we'll probably have Adam on from time to time to talk.
Yeah, we can
more.
talk some other cars too.
Yeah, he's got a slew of cars, so it's always good to have a few cars.
We need to get him on about the C8 situation, because that's a mess.
Yeah.
He went too hard with everything, and now he doesn't have the support to really squeeze the
that's
power
an
out of
update.
it.
That's definitely an update.
Yeah.
So,
But like I said, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.